Hey guys, this is actually one of my first videos, and instead of outsourcing video ideas like I would normally do to tumors and music, I've decided instead to do it myself in an effort to do what she has been asking other music majors to do, which is share our experiences. Today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about an issue that I think a lot of us face, and that's forgetting that playing our instrument is actually a very physical thing. Well, at least I forget anyways. So when you're practicing and you're playing, at least I'm very physically involved in what I'm doing, and even if you're just sitting there, you're still physically involved, and you're using muscles that aren't necessarily in a natural position. Example, when we hold our flutes back, or if our piccolo's back, what happens is that shoulder being there, it's not actually natural for us to have our hand up like we normally do with holding a flute. So an important thing to do, as you would with any other physical activity, is you want to do some stretching and some warm-up for it as well. A big stretch that I find that really helps with my shoulders after a long day of playing, that my flute teacher showed me, is actually take the palm of your hand and you want to put it against a wall this way, and then you want to stretch your arm back 90 degrees. I find that it feels really, really great on my shoulder, especially after I've been practicing for a long period of time. And you do the same thing on the other side. And it feels really, really good. You'll definitely feel the stretch in across here and in your shoulder, which are a lot of the muscles that are being engaged while you're practicing or playing. Another thing is that breaks are really important for your body to rest, but also for while you're practicing, because your mind can only process so much at once. So taking that break, that 5-10 minute break, or even an overnight break from your practicing, will really help your body take in what you've done, think about it, and elaborate on it, so that when you go back in 5, 10, or the next day, you'll be able to do it, and it will feel a little bit easier. It obviously takes time to build up the skills that you need. Another thing that I find from a lot of people forgetting that to really take the breaks is that injuries can occur, especially because with fatigue some of our technical stuff will drop, and it just happens. So a big thing that you want to do to avoid getting certain injuries are having prep methods, or knowing your body and listening to your body. If there's pain while you're practicing, take the break, do not play, and figure out what your body is saying through that pain. Something that I actually realized through this year, my lessons, is that I have hypermobile thumbs, which mean that they go back really far, as well as hypermobile index fingers and pinkies. My ring finger and middle finger aren't as bad, and I do a lot of finger strengthening exercises through class piano and stuff so that I can fix it. But when I was holding my flute, I had a lot of tension because of how I was holding it, and that was due to my thumb position on the flute. When I was holding flute, I had my thumb super collapsed. It was super awkward to play. There was a lot of pressure there to keep the flute held. And what that ended up actually causing was a lot of pain. And it caused my tendinitis and a bit of my carpal tunnel that I have in both arms. And that goes all the way up from here, up my fingers, and into my thumb. So what I actually do when I play or practice for a long period of time is I tape my thumb so that it's straight, and that it's not actually me really having to have to think about it too much. Because if you think about it too much, you'll end up clenching a little bit, and if you just tape it, you'll gradually build up the skill there. And I tape it very loosely so that it just keeps it there roughly, so that I can build up the muscle strength to still play. Because I do performances without the tape on, as well as I do small practice sessions without the tape on. Because to me, I find that the look of Meditape on your thumb doesn't look super professional. So I'm trying to build up the skills required so that I don't have to do it all the time. Another thing, seeing as how I got the tendonitis, was I have to wear one of these bad boys. I don't wear it all the time when I'm practicing anymore because I've recovered a little bit. However, if I feel I'm having a bad wrist day, I will throw it on and practice with it, and I normally sleep with it on. When I first got diagnosed with my tendonitis, I was told that I was only supposed to wear it at night, or they recommended that I only do it at night, and that I take a break from practicing. But because of where I got tendonitis in my semester, I wasn't able to take the break because my recital was coming up. I had to be prepared for it. So I ended up wearing my brace almost 24/7. And I gave my body the breaks that it needed. But so I could still practice. I just practiced in shorter bursts, and I always wore the brace on. And I still wear the brace occasionally, and I actually am in the middle of shopping for a brace for my left hand as well instead of just my right, because they just have both been flaring up recently. So the next point that I want to move to in this video actually is some ways to help you recover from tendonitis / help you prevent tendonitis. So part of my practice routine every day is that I do a bit of a stretch before I play, and then I stop about every hour or sooner depending on how I feel during the day to do a couple stretches. Some of these stretches include where you put your hand like this, grab and pull back. Now you don't want it to hurt when you pull back, but you want to feel a bit of a stretch. You'll feel it in here and then along the tendon. And I do that, and I hold it for 10 seconds, and then I do it again. And then I do the same thing on my left hand, hold for 10 seconds, and then I take a break, do it again, and then I do almost the same exercise. Instead of pointing my hand up, I point it down and pull. This one feels really good, especially in the tendons along the back of the hand that go into here. And I do that 10 seconds, hold, break, 10 seconds again, and then I do the same thing, of course, on my other hand. Another stretch that I do is where you go through and you slowly take your hand from being in a fist like this and extend the fingers, trying to keep the end of your fingers always contacted to your hand somewhere. Obviously there's parts where it's going to have to go off, and I find that helps a lot in here as well. You won't feel it as much, but I tend to always feel where my joint will pop over, which helps stretch the tendon a bit. Another one that's really good is if you have a water bottle, and I normally always do, is to hold your water bottle. If you need to, a pop can works too. And you hold it like this, and you twist it back towards you, and then you let it go all the way back on your hand, and then you curve it forwards. This one I find works the best for me, and it really stretches out my hand a lot, and it feels really good. And again, I do that a few times, stretching it out on both hands because both hands are important. But yeah, so the important thing that I really want you guys who do choose to watch this video to take away from is that breaks are super important when you're playing, and that you're very physically engaged when you're playing, regardless of what instrument you're on. So your body needs breaks, and your body needs stretches, and you need to be listening to your body when you're playing, because that's part of being a musician as well, is knowing where pain is coming from so you can fix it, because that might be a technical issue, or it might be another problem, and when in doubt, I strongly recommend that you go check it out, because you don't want to risk permanent injury, as I'm sure you've all heard Robin say several times. Also, I'll probably be doing a couple of videos in the future. I won't do them nearly as often as Tumors in Music does, because I don't have nearly enough to talk about, or nearly enough experience to really talk about all the things that she does. I will be trialing piccolos in the upcoming 2-3 weeks. And I'll be posting videos on there for your guys' responses, because that's how I'm going to be doing my trials and stuff. to get some feedback from you guys on what you like. Of course, ultimately the decision will still be mine. But I hope to hear back from you guys because I'm sure you have great feedback to give me. Also, in case you guys haven't heard, Tumors in Music, or Robin, and Half Flute Will Tumble. I know his name's Willie, but I don't really know him personally, so I don't really feel comfortable using his first name. So I'm going to use Half Flute Will Tumble. Do a bi-monthly kind of group chat between the two of them through, I think it's Google Chat or Google Chat Room something. It's Google. And they talk, and they're actually taking questions from people for their next video, which I believe is, I don't know if they're doing it in August or September, because I can't remember when the original one was, if their original one was posted in June or July, and they said bi-monthly. So, who knows, but I strongly urge you guys to go over to their blogs and go into their asks and ask them any questions that you want them to cover in their videos. They're super informative, and I mean, how often do you get really easily accessible grad students to answer questions for you? I mean, I guess Half Flute Will Tumble has already graduated from grad school, but they're super nice. They're not intimidating at all. So go ask them any questions that you have, because they'll do a wonderful job of answering it. I know that I've asked them a couple questions because I really want to hear their take on some of the things. And they have so much knowledge to share, and it's really neat listening to them. And yeah, I'll probably see you guys again sometime in the future. I'm not sure when my next video will be posted. I have to have an idea to talk about. So, thanks for tuning in. Bye.